Hey, it's Karina.
And Clark.
And welcome to the It's Always Spooky podcast. Before we get into our episode today, we wanted to let you know about a couple of announcements that are super exciting. You had mentioned this on our American Horror Story podcast, but we do now have a Patreon account. You can find it honestly, on any of our episodes, you can just hit the support button and it should take you right there. Otherwise, you can just go to patreon.com/itsalwaysspooky. For $5 a month, we will be adding some cool new features. I don't know what any of those features are off the top of my brain, so I will hand it over to Clark.
Yeah, so a couple of things that we're going to have kind of coded into the Patreon are letting you guys know what we're going to be recording a week in advance so that you can let us know your favorite and scariest scenes and have that input featured in the episodes.
Ooh.
And we're also hopefully going to be able to plan some viewing parties and some live chats as we're recording/watching things. And then we're going to come up with a couple of other collaborative experiences along the way.
Absolutely, because this is something that we can grow, hopefully, as it becomes more popular.
Yeah. One other thing that I wanted to mention before we get into today's episode was that we also have an email in the bottom of our episode descriptions where you can provide input, you can give us feedback, but then also we really want to hear your experiences with the scaries and with the paranormals so that we can build an episode that features our listeners' stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we also mention the Ko-fi account?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's kofi.com/it's always spooky. Ko-fi is kind of like a Patreon, but you choose the amount that you're donating rather than it being like a monthly subscription. As we've said before, we're going to continue to make this podcast no matter if we make money on it or not. This is just purely a way for you to show your support to us. And we really just appreciate you even listening to us rant about horror content.
Yeah, we definitely never thought that people would be interested in this, and the amount of listenership and support that we've gotten so far has blew our minds.
It's like blowing my mind is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to today's episode.
All right.
If it's fucked up, it's not going to be the first time. It's not going to be the last.
So
time.
You're getting registers that it's actually working, but you're just not able to hear it in your AirPod.
Yeah, and now I can hear it. I didn't realize that when I connected my AirPods, it wasn't going to automatically switch the output to my AirPods. It was trying to output to this.
To that,
which
for
makes
whatever reason.
Fucking sense, because show me the speaker.
Because what? I don't know. Faz does that a lot of times too. When I connect to Discord and I want to use Faz's audio. It's I have to go into the audio settings and I have to always change what the output is because it's trying to output it through my speakers in my laptop rather than my headphone.
Yeah.
And I'm but then we get this weird echoing issue. So I want to do
Oh my God, it was so much fun to play Faz.
Oh, I know.
It had been so long.
Well, we had to after I sent around that video. Did I send it to you? There was one about there are 4 different types of Faz players. It was the photographer, the scaredy cat, the bait, and I'm trying to remember the 4th one.
Am I not all of the above?
Right? I'm definitely the scaredy cat.
I'm pretty sure that I'm the photographer, but also scaredy cat.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was. It was just funny.
Yeah.
It was a good video. But yeah, I love playing Faz.
I'm too scared to be the bait.
Yeah, right. I found myself, I'm getting a lot less scared of that game, which is kind of nice. Because I've experienced the death animation so many times and I'm just it doesn't make me jump anymore. I just go, oh, I'm dead. Damn.
See, and I don't think it's even the hands, the animation of it sort of thing. I think it's literally just that for some reason, every single time I die, it's it spawns right in front of my face.
That has happened to me so many times.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's okay, I have absolutely no time to run. I love that for myself.
Oh, sick. Awesome. I'm dead.
Oh, perfect. Great. I'm going to just go back to the start now. Oh, anyways. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
I'm Karina.
I'm Clark.
And welcome to It's Always Spooky.
It's always spooky.
I really like our intro.
I do too. It
yeah.
actually took a little bit for it to grow on.
To grow on you?
Yeah, it took a little bit to grow on me.
But I loved the Christmas bells that you did with it for Christmas time.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll utilize that more this year.
Yeah, what's the next? Nope, would not be appropriate. I was going to say the next holiday is Martin Luther King Day. And I'm not going to put the I have a dream speech.
Are you talking about for American Horror Story?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're like, ooh, a little too on the nose here.
Maybe not
Maybe
that
not.
one. It's also fucked that inauguration this year is for Donald Trump on Martin Luther King Day.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's distract ourselves from that.
With a movie that I'm actually really excited to talk about because I was so excited for you to watch this movie, knowing that you had not seen it before.
Yeah. And, I still don't think I had initially watched the whole thing prior to this. But there was one scene that I remember vividly.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't know if maybe it was like part of a preview for it and maybe that's why I remember, or if I just like saw a screen cap from it somewhere.
You came in partway. You
Yeah.
turned it on when it had already started. And you're like, oh yeah, this looks good. I'll just turn this on.
And we'll definitely like come back around to what that scene is because it's my favorite scene.
Okay,
So,
well, let's get into it.
yeah.
So we're going to do 2016's Autopsy of Jane Doe. Director, I had put on this. I don't know how to say his last name. It's Andre. I'm going to just give it Avradal. And then stars Brian Cox, Emil Hirsch, and then Olwen Kelly plays Jane.
Yeah.
The title card for this movie, I really like. It's actually the title, but it's underneath the dirt that's being like blown away slowly and revealing the title name,
Yeah.
which I thought was super sick. And the tagline for this is "Everybody has a secret."
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
We've had some killer taglines
So
already.
I love a good tagline.
Yeah.
It's whatever they used like in the trailer when they were advertising it. It's what's on the posters or like what's on the movie when you pick the movie up. And so I always like seeing what the tagline is. I've
Yeah.
also been really liking that we talk about the title cards
Yeah.
because I'm starting like beforehand. I think when I would have my movie experiences, the title card was kind of like a moot point. It was like a gloss over
Yeah.
point.
It was
for
like,
me.
yeah, that's what I'm watching.
Yeah. And now I'm kind of excited. I'm like, ooh, I want to know what the title card is because they're so unique sometimes.
And they also, like, a lot of them have little Easter eggs in them that tell you a lot about the story.
yeah. Sometimes it gives it away a little bit, but I'm
Yeah.
not mad about that.
No.
Not in this case. But
Like, one of the ones that I had never paid attention to, that will be an episode that comes out about a month before this one, 2 months before this one. We'll see, is the one for Misery.
yeah.
Like, I never thought about how all of the pieces of that actually connect.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
it's so cool.
It's super cool. The only other metadata that I have before you get into themes is budget. For this budget, like I did notice a typo on IMDb's website, but I had just written down that they had a budget of $4 million. They grossed, I'm guessing worldwide, $6.17 million.
Ooh.
So it did pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, for a horror movie, that's decent.
in 2016 too.
Yeah.
So, first time the orange guy was hired.
It's a horror movie. It's not part of an already built franchise.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like any of the previews for it or anything like that, I don't feel like any of that really gave much of the story. So I think that's good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
especially because this movie to me starts off very much like kind of a mystery, like a whodunit. Like
Yeah.
if you start off watching one movie and then about it's literally at the halfway point, it turns into a very completely different movie.
Yeah.
Like you knew you were coming in for like a scary movie, but you had no idea what you were in for.
No.
Like up until that point, like you're riding the train along with the two people and you're like, wow, what is going on? And when you
Yeah.
find out what's going on, you're just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And this movie has immaculate vibes. The whole thing, like you're strapped in, you're good to go.
Yeah.
There's
From the-
not
yeah.
there's
From
not
the
like
jump.
any moment that I felt like I was like, okay, when is this part going to be over? When's that part going to be over?
Nothing felt gratuitous.
No.
I really, I liked every minute of this movie. I really liked the beginning where you kind of have this opening of the father and son working on a pretty like gross looking body, right?
Yeah.
But they're like rocking out to their tunes on the radio and they're
Yeah.
like banking shots when they're throwing their like gloves in the garbage and like they're having a rockin' good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you also kind of go into it initially thinking, oh, okay, this is like father who's trying to pass the torch to his son, and like this is his learning experience. And then you start to learn more along the way that sure, that's part of what's happening, but it's also they're a duo and they're also trauma bonded.
Yeah. And there's always like two sides to every coin, right? Where you very much see something happening one way, because this happens a lot. It was one of the themes in this movie, I think, that we're going to talk about, is that everything on the surface looks pristine and perfect. Yeah. But it's once you start to dig underneath, or you start to talk about things that really bother you, that you realize that there are cracks, there are differences, there are problems.
Yeah. Let me grab my other notes too, really quick.
I just have the picture that my husband sent me so graciously.
There was a part where Austin is even talking to his dad, and he's like, you always have this front that you put on for everybody else, and like you need to let people in. Yeah. And that is kind of indicative of that, like, oh, there's this perfect exterior to literally this entire movie. Right. And then it gets. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of going into themes, actually. Yeah. I didn't write down very many for this one because there is one big one that would just give it all away.
Yeah, I was wondering if we wanted to spoil it or not before we gave our 60-second or our little like recap of it. Yeah. Spoiler-free recap.
I would say, if anything, there's a few different general themes for it. I think kind of the big blanket one is just like familial ties, because it even from the opening scene of this grisly murder that happens with this family and how they end up finding the body of Jane Doe, to then being in, is it a morgue? Yeah. Is that the proper
it's a mortuary.
Term? Okay, yeah. Yeah. So then being in the mortuary and seeing the familial bond between these two people, and it's kind of a theme throughout.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see familial ties. I could see legacy being a theme.
Legacy being part of it. And then, also just like facades. A lot of facades. Nothing in this movie is what it seems.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd also say like depression.
Yeah.
Pretty big theme in here, as well as like revenge.
Yeah.
As another big one, too.
Revenge is definitely a big one. Yeah. I did write a little
recap.
A little guy.
I like it.
So I wrote, after the grisly murder of a family leads law enforcement to uncover the body of an unknown woman buried in the basement, coroner Tommy Tilden and his son Austin are tasked with discovering what happened to her, or what is still happening to her.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, that's good.
We'll take it.
We'll take it.
I wrote 3 pages of notes with this one, and it really was, again, me just being stoned and being like, I should write that down.
I should write that down. I need to look at it. You're just like, holy shit, that was a lot of notes.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I did not need to write it frame by frame.
Well, the only other thing that I had written down that we didn't write down, it was because I didn't want to spoil it before you gave your recap, is false persecution.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I felt like that was a pretty big theme as well. Maybe also just like a big plot point. But do you want to do your favorite scene?
Yeah. I had a really hard time deciding, so I ended up with 2.
I wrote more than one.
Okay.
Like, there's obviously like honorable mentions.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one that I was talking about that I remembered from whenever it was that I either like blackout watched this or something back in the day.
Yeah.
Was when they pull open her skin and there's the writing on the inside. That was sick. Like, that was so well done, so beautifully shot. Everything looks so real while also, not being too gruesome to where you want to look away from that.
Right.
And yeah, that part I remember, and I should. That
you definitely should. That's the point in the movie that it's just like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like, oh yeah, there is no way that this happened
to this body.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way.
The other favorite scene that I wrote down was after she overpowers Tommy when he's like, let me in sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And like my meds stopped working, so it's a little hard to form sentences.
Oh, it's okay.
When he's essentially saying something along the lines of like, show me what they did to you, or like that sort of thing. And she starts healing as he's starting to be harmed.
Yeah.
That scene was sick.
That one's gnarly too. Because
Yeah.
he just says like, I think he just says like, let me help you.
Yeah.
Just leave my son alone. Don't hurt him. Let me help you.
Yeah.
And that's all he had to say to give her permission to then use him to undo all of her damage that she had suffered.
Yeah.
Because they found out that she was very much still alive.
Yeah.
After they took a piece of her brain tissue and looked at it, and it was very much still moving around, even though she didn't have a heart at that point.
Yeah.
For hours. It had decomposed in a bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. They had taken all the parts off that Mrs. Potato, and she was still
Except the
living.
head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
See, the only way to kill a witch is to take out their brain.
Yeah.
Because like I was surprised they didn't take that shit out. Because like they just took a sample of it. They took out the other guy's brain.
Yeah.
They take out her brain.
Yeah, take hers too.
Anyways,
Yeah, those were my two.
that is definitely one of my favorite scenes. It is on there. It's just Jane's reveal with skin. I did also have two other honorable mentions. I think actually my favorite scene was the first one that I put here. So I'll say my other honorable mention was when Emma, the girlfriend,
Yeah.
wants to see the dead bodies. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of this lighthearted moment where like Austin doesn't want her to look because he doesn't want her to like get scared and get traumatized. And Dad is initially like playing into it. Oh, I'm not that much of a tight ass. Like, which one you want to see, right? And she wants to see the guy who's got his face blown in, right? And
Yeah.
so like they're going back and forth, and finally she's like, I want to look. And so she's going to like pull the sheet off of him, and the dad just like rings the bell and like scares her.
And when you have, drawers of people that you could choose from, you're going to pick the one that's face is like obviously caved in.
Caved in. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been something a little nutty with Emma.
Yeah.
Because like I would never want to like just look at people's dead bodies just for fun.
Like, okay, so I'm not going to go so far as to say that I like wouldn't want to see a dead body.
Well, no.
Well, I have.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And so, yeah, but like, not that. I'm
yeah.
not trying to see.
Well, and it just
that.
seems like it just seems to me like pretty wildly disrespectful to be seeing it from this light of like, I want to see a dead body. It's like, no, I didn't choose that one. I chose that one, right? It's just like almost thinking of them as like attractions at a zoo.
Yeah, they're not people.
They're not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did like. This is just a once off when they right before they pulled the strychnine guy out. What I liked about it was when you saw his tag and it said strychnine on it, and you saw his face was blown in. In my brain, I immediately was like, oh, he was poisoned. Right? Like he didn't actually blow his brains out. Like so it was funny when then Brian Cox's character was like, yeah, we thought he just like, killed himself until we found out that he was dead beforehand by strychnine.
Yeah.
So somebody poisoned him.
Yeah. Kind of going back to her seeing them as just
pieces of meat.
At
the
pieces of
supermarket.
meat also. There's another layer of disrespect to it where it's like typically people aren't hanging out in a mortuary because people know what happened to them.
Exactly.
Or like because, families have already had closure and all that kind of stuff. They're an icon of a grieving process that has just started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're picking fun at that grieving process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the point I was trying to get across. And finally, my favorite scene that I had in here was the very, very end of the movie. Not the very end, but just before Detective Burke gets back to the mortuary and Dad has died, and it's right after Dad has died and everything shuts off, and Austin hears Detective Burke outside. Right. And he's like, Austin, like, I'm here to help you. I'm getting the tree off. Right. And he goes and he's trying to open the back, and he's like, just open it. It's fine. And he's like, I can't, like, it's locked. And they're like, no, just open it. And he says open like 3 or 4 times, and then goes into that, like, open up your heart, and goes back into that song that they had been listening to on the radio. And you realize that like he's hallucinating. Like Jane made that happen. And so he turns around, he sees dad, and he falls down the stairs and dies.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite scene to me is you get this like glimmer of hope. Austin's like, oh, maybe he'll be able to make it out. He's seen all this horrible stuff. And then it was the moment that like he runs up and he can't open it, but the sheriff is still like, no, just open it. It's open. And I knew. Like I was like, oh, he's still stuck there.
Oh my gosh. And then after all of that, when he's like, I moved the tree, you can open it. And he's like, it won't open. And then just like a few minutes later when it's on the radio and they're like, it's been sunshine for days. And it's like, none of that happened.
None of it.
Not a single thing.
They didn't even perform an autopsy on her.
No.
They wrote all of the notes on the board. Like they wrote, all the, string, the tongue cut out and all that stuff. But like there wasn't a mark on her.
It almost makes me wish that part of it would have included camera footage of them like writing everything, but nothing ever actually happening.
Like an Oculus situation, right? Where you see them like moving the cameras around and they're talking, they're having the same conversation they thought they were having like around the corner, but they're like in the room moving stuff around.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. They did obviously show at one point when they tried to light her body on fire that they ended up lighting their camera on fire to get rid of all the evidence. But I do agree with you. I think it would have been really interesting to see like after credit footage of the detective like looking at the footage and just being like, all right, I wonder. And just watching them just standing around like talking and like play acting like they're performing the autopsy, but they're just standing there talking to each other. And he's like, what the fuck is happening?
It would have just been a fun little like addition
like
to it.
Like a special feature.
Yeah. Still though, phenomenally done movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's all I had for favorite scenes.
Ooh, okay. I think that's all that I had for favorite scenes. I did write down, bye, Emma. Maybe you should have said something.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, maybe she, and you know what? Maybe she was. Maybe she was. But if anything, like if you saw them and their eyes were glazed over and it looked like they weren't registering that you were there, I would not keep approaching.
No.
But yeah.
I would be like, a goodbye.
I don't even know how like, she got down the elevator at 10 p.m. and then somehow circumvented them because then they were able to run out and get in the elevator and then kill her.
Yeah.
But we don't ask questions here.
No, we're not here to change.
I'm not here to point out plot holes. That's a different podcast. The plot hole podcast. That'll be our follow up.
Yeah. Oh shit, we're about to make a network.
Oh God, no. Okay. What about your scariest scene?
For my scariest, okay, this is going to sound really generic. And it is. I fucking hate scenes where there's a hole in a wall and somebody puts their eye right up to it. I fucking hate it.
Don't you hate that
It
shit?
makes me so uncomfortable. It makes my heart start racing every time. And they knew the exact amount of tension to build with that scene before something happened.
Right.
And is it the scariest? No.
No.
Was it the one that bothered me the most? Yes. So that's the one I wrote down.
Did you have any honorable mentions for scariest?
I don't necessarily remember exactly what the moment was.
I mean, it's cool. That's
But
like, no worries.
I wrote down in all caps, ew, the reflection in the hall mirror. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When
Yeah.
Austin's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Now I remember what it was. Yeah, it was in the like corner mirror where you're supposed to be able to see if somebody's like rolling a table.
Yep.
And then he sees the figure in the mirror. That was a decently done one.
Yeah. I thought some of the jump scares were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like not all of them hit really well, but some of them were good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of the early ones that they did. I'm really blanking on where it was like a camera flash or something like that. Something that was like really innocuous, but it still kind of got my heart racing the first time I watched it. And I could see like in a movie theater really getting me.
Ooh, another honorable mention. When things are first starting to get a little wonky and they're in one of the other rooms in the mortuary and they can hear that a body is like coming down the hallway and then they just hear the jingle.
Yeah, just the little toe bell.
That was a well done
That was
one.
a good one.
What was your scariest?
So for scary scenes, I'm going to do my honorable mentions again first, and then I'll end with my top one. The one, like the scene that made me react, like when I watched it, it made me do like a little, was when Tommy cuts into Jane for the first time and he makes those 4 incisions. And the 2 incisions. And the second incision, when it meets her sternum and the blood just starts rushing out of her body, that got me to just be like, holy fuck. Like, because you initially start with her eyes.
Yeah.
And Tommy goes, okay, we typically don't see that unless a body's been dead for a long time. And then when they see her tongue is missing and they're like, okay, she's been mutilated, they write all this stuff, and then it's not, they do all of it takes a minute before they start doing the internal like autopsy. And so when he does it and she starts bleeding like that, right, Austin's like, oh my god, like, is that normal? And Tommy's like, I've seen it, but only on like a fresh corpse, like one that's been like 1 to 2 hours dead, and it's due to like a buildup of pressure. And so you're automatically like, well, wait a second, but you just said she must have been dead for days because her eyes. So wait.
Well, yeah, and you see in the very beginning of the movie where the police find her, and it's like, she ain't been dead for an hour. That girl was buried. She
white. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting too. We should talk about this. The initial scene. Like, how did Jane end up there in the first place? Did the family bring her there? Were they doing renovations in their house and they uncovered her? Did somebody else bring her body there? Because she had been dead for hundreds of years.
Also, the grisly scene where they ended up discovering her, were they doing renovations and found her and then she caused that whole thing? Because
that's what you're led to believe. Because the deputy says at the beginning, he's like, she walks around and she comes back to Burke and she says, I checked everything. There's no signs of forced entry. It doesn't look like anyone tried to get in. In fact, it looks like everybody tried to get out.
Yeah.
Which is weird. They don't say this, but which is weird because they own the house. So it's not like it was locked.
No.
Right? Like you wouldn't have a key to get out, right?
Yeah.
So it would be such an interesting like prequel is to see like that family get got, or to even see like how Jane was created in the first place, and then to kind of end with like the scene of her like killing that family.
Yeah, because Tommy even at one point says like nobody was a witch. These were people who were like falsely persecuted. It was just all mass hysteria.
They were just teenage girls.
But they might have actually made one by doing what they did to her.
Yeah, they did they created the very thing that they fought so hard to like get rid of.
Yeah.
So I put down Tommy's bathroom attack because that was actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
You have that like fake out moment where Austin's like, Dad, wait. And they kind of look and like nothing happens. And then he kind of gets taken and the bathroom door gets shut. And I think
yoink.
Yeah, yoink. And I think for me, it was truly terrifying because you can hear Tommy getting attacked. And then Austin is trying to get the door open and it's not fucking budging. Like he's trying to like get it open and it's like 2 or 3 shoulder presses.
Just open it.
Yeah.
Just open it.
And then the 4th time that he does it, it just opens. Like it just opens like it wasn't locked in the first place.
It opens before he even,
which is interesting. Like it wanted him to like burst in and maybe like do more damage by running into Dad or whatever.
Yeah.
And then finally, obviously my scariest, like all-time scariest moment for me is Jane's reveal with her skin. And it's just after they pull all of the skin off and you're like, holy shit. And I think it's just before that moment. Tommy says like one of my favorite lines where he's just kind of like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And that's when like all the lights explode and they both land on the ground. I don't know if it's before or after this happens that he says, okay, let's get out of here. But I really like that moment where everything blows up and you just hear the 3 drawers in the back open and then the bodies thud on the ground. And every time I watch this movie, when I hear those sounds, my heart just goes, oh no.
Yeah.
Because you just know what that means, right? And then you wake up. And you wake up and I like how you brought up that for a couple of moments there after Austin gets up, it goes to like this first person, like shaky cam footage.
Yeah.
Like a third person. And the first thing he looks at is like the 3 empty cases.
Yeah.
Their doors flayed open. The ramps have come out and they're just like laying on the ground. And you're just like, oh. And I'm pretty sure that's when Brian Cox's character Tommy is like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Which
bye.
Austin has been saying the entire time.
Yeah, he says it. He says it like not even 5-10 minutes before. He's like, Dad, we should get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, this is not sitting right with me at all.
Yeah, because they have like the radio host that's like, you gotta get home. This is gonna be a bad storm.
You don't want to be stuck in this one.
Yeah.
Oh no, they say something just after that I find really fun because it reminds me of PT, the playable teaser for Resident Evil, where it's just like, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. It's so cool though, just how in depth they went with the details of her controlling what's happening, because it's everything from the police, from things that are happening outside. It's the radio. It's like them writing things, but not actually doing anything to her. Like, she is controlling literally every single aspect of this. And they put a lot of thought into like, oh, this is happening. This isn't actually happening. This is happening. This isn't actually happening.
Yeah.
Actually, even the radio host is going to say a weather like phenomenon that isn't going to happen.
Right.
And it's just, I love how much detail they put into that.
I knew you'd appreciate it. Like, I know you would, because it's one of those things where like you don't want to spoil it when you hype this movie up that like it's kind of this occulty witchcraft movie, because it gives it away. But once you realize it, like you get that note in, just all of these little pieces and tidbits come out, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
I have never seen an occult movie done this way.
No.
Ever.
It is done very, very well. This is getting into like up in my list of probably favorite movies.
Yeah. It's one that you're like, holy shit, you got to recommend this to everybody now. Like, who has not seen it? You're just like, you haven't fucking seen that movie? Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's not long. It's actually right at God's given length. It's like an hour, 26 minutes or something like that.
It's super digestible.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like Emile Hirsch and Brian Cox are the two main leads. Like you follow them for maybe 85% of the runtime, and they are they have really great chemistry together, and they both play their roles really well as like father and son, also like aging elder dad who's trying to mentor the next generation of mortuary, like what's the word I'm like, coroners.
Yeah.
But also you have this dynamic of Austin who doesn't want to disappoint dad and wants to take care of dad in the wake of this tragedy, but also very much is like he's in this stage of generation legacy where he doesn't necessarily want the same thing that like grandpa and dad wanted. He wants to like forge his own path and do his own thing in life. And so I really like that kind of balance in this movie between like this facade, this like two-facedness that you have where you don't want to be honest with this person. And so you're telling them something just to placate them and make them happy.
Yeah. Yeah, because even Austin and Emma at one point are having the conversation where she's like, did you tell him that we're leaving? And it's like moving. It's not like just leaving for the night.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I haven't said anything. Like that sort of thing where it's like, yeah, he's very much so trying to be like, no, we're going to continue doing this. And meanwhile, he's about to just dip on his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Just like literally just like not going to be there one day.
Yeah. Yeah. So not only is he not like willing to tell him like, oh, I don't want to continue on the family business, I'm also just going to leave.
Yeah. Which is a crazy thing to do. Or maybe he just like, he was basically stringing them both along, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he was never going to tell dad and he was never going to move with Emma. But he was just telling them both like, yeah, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to take over the family business. And yeah, we're going to go to fuck all and we're going to do whatever, right? Like, yeah.
Meanwhile, he was actually going to become a drag queen and move across the country and serve.
He would have had so many dreams if he didn't die. I was just looking up the trivia real quick. Okay, so my favorite piece of trivia that I wanted to bring up is something that we've already kind of talked about, but I still wanted to bring it up because I find myself, I like details. Sometimes I will notice when people make mistakes in movies. And one of the things that I remember noticing is the blood on Austin's face when he finds Emma, right? And he gets her blood all over him. Towards the end, when he goes to open up the door for Detective Burke and he falls down the stairs, he doesn't have blood on his face anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You would think that would be a goof, right? And that there would be other goofs in the movie that you might see. But the entire thing was hallucinated.
Oh yeah.
The entire autopsy, like, you know, like all of this different stuff that they saw. They killed Emma. That was definitely did happen.
Yeah.
But like so all of those goofs didn't, like, they don't actually matter.
I love that. They actually kind of plot hole safeguarded themselves.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't work the same way. Let's see. Oh, I did know this piece of trivia. I just didn't want to get the movie wrong. So Andre, the director for this movie, he was really inspired to direct a horror movie after he watched The Conjuring.
Okay.
And so he called his agent and he said, the first script that you get that is like horror related, like, I want it on my desk. And so a month later they showed him this script and he took it. He was like, cool, He was like, he was immediately interested.
I love that it wasn't like I'm going to go out hunting for a specific thing. I'm going to be like super picky about all of it. It was just like, send me something. I'm going to work my magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't think I actually said what other things he's done. So I'm just very quickly going to bring it up.
Yeah.
He did Troll Hunter in 2010 before he did Autopsy of Jane Doe. I did not see that. He did most recently do The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is that like vampire movie that happens on a ship.
I don't think I watched that.
We should watch that sometime.
Okay.
I also have not seen it because I just don't really go to the movie theater that much anymore. But that's probably, we could probably find it on streaming or pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. We only go to the theater for Wicked.
Yeah. Come on. Oh, he did also do 2019 Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. So it seems like 2016 when he did Autopsy of Jane Doe, it seemed like he was doing more, I don't know what Troll Hunter is, but it sounds like it's more of like a creature feature. He started doing a bit more like horror related things. Because Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was pretty good, actually.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark as much as I like the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah.
But it does have a similar vibe. You get a similar feel.
Well, and I'm
it.
pretty sure that Guillermo del Toro directed that. So I'm kind of curious if Andre Overtal was like a writer. Like, I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
Or if like they're talking about a spinoff that he did.
Yeah, maybe it was like a co-directing situation.
Maybe.
Although I don't see Guillermo del Toro being somebody to co-direct.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
I just found that interesting. I was like, when it said that he directed it, he might have been a producer.
Maybe.
He could have been a producer.
Yeah. It is interesting though that like they do have a similar texture to them.
Yeah. Absolutely. The two movies you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. One of the reasons that Olwen Catherine Kelly, who played Jane Doe, was selected for her role was her knowledge of yoga. This was because it helped her control her body and breathing. Because a good portion of the movie, she's actually there in the room, lying on the table. They don't use like a body double or like a fake body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's because they wanted it to feel more like creepy and human by having her in the room.
Yeah.
And apparently she kept most of the morale on set. She was a model more than she was an actress. And so she was she was more used to, it was still uncomfortable for her, but she had a lot of comfortability just like being naked on set and being like totally fine with that.
Yeah.
And apparently it was like, she took it upon herself to make everybody else feel comfortable on set with the fact that like they had to do it.
That is icon behavior.
Isn't that great?
Also, I was laser focused on trying to see if she breathed or twitched or anything like that, and she did not. Like she was impeccable. A dead body.
I know. I kind of wonder how they did that because like she had to breathe at some point, but I wonder if it was like her yoga training allowed her to breathe without really moving, where she could find moments where she could breathe but not really. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I would have gotten an itch or something at just the wrong time, and they would have had to redo the scene like 400 times.
No kidding.
They'd be like, actually, just get rid of him.
Just get rid of him. Yeah, let's see.
You know what? We're actually just going to source a real dead body.
Right. Well, apparently, so Andre wanted a live actress for the part to connect the audience on a human level. And he also believed that doing some of the close-up scenes with a prosthetic would be impossible. Like you wouldn't be able to do them if it wasn't actually her.
Okay.
So I found that kind of interesting.
That does make a lot of sense, though, because you can tell when something is lifeless.
Yeah.
And when they do, especially the close-ups on her face with her like clouded eyes, you can see there's still life in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Her face still looks very much like alive. Like she just died yesterday. Yeah. The song playing throughout this movie is Open Up Your Heart and Let the Sun Shine In. It's performed by the Cowboy Church Sunday School. The version used is the 45 RPM recording played at 33 1/3.
Ooh, okay. They mess with the vibe a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Make it creepy. One of the other just like random little things that I wanted to point out, I don't know if it's necessarily trivia, kind of, was there's, of course, because it's biblical, there's like 50 different translations for the scripture that is noted on the fabric that comes out of her mouth.
Yeah.
And it's Leviticus 20:27. And in the King James Version, I believe, it's said, a man or a woman who acts as a medium or clairvoyant shall be put to death. They shall be stoned to death. Their blood guilt is upon them. But there's a few different translations. So at some point, it's in reference to like clairvoyance or medium. Another translation, it just like flat out calls them a witch.
Yeah.
In another translation, it is somebody who speaks to the dead. Like it's interpreted a few different ways. And I thought that was really interesting because when I've looked up scripture, when I'm like looking at things in movies before, it tends to be fairly consistent, even between translations. And this was the one that I saw the most variance.
You're like, holy shit, these are all wildly different.
Yeah. They're just, I feel like they were trying to manipulate that to target whatever it was that was culturally relevant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You think about when those texts were probably altered or edited.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. When assessing damage during a lull in action in the main autopsy lab, the camera pans from the shower stall immediately to a close-up of the hole axed through the door, focusing on a character's eye, peering quizzically through it. Both are likely homages to classic horror films, Psycho in the shower and The Shining in the axed door.
Hell yeah.
I knew you'd appreciate that one.
Two of the best horror movies to ever horror movie.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much it for like interesting trivia. Oh, this might be kind of interesting. So Olwen Kelly, who played Jane Doe, spent around 8 hours a day for 5 weeks lying naked on an autopsy table. Before filming, she said she spent a lot of time thinking, how am I going to be nude? And still, in what will probably be a room full of men. Her background as a model helped her cope. During an early modeling job after moving to London, she posed totally naked except for a pair of shoes in a room full of people.
Huh. That's another fun fact. Not a single person in this film has a British accent, and it was filmed in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the house that the mortuary is modeled after is a real historic house.
I do think that's in this trivia. I mostly go for the ones that are like spoilery.
Yeah.
I'm like, those are the fun ones. Stephen King said of the film, The Autopsy of Jane Doe is visceral horror to rival Alien and early Cronenberg. Watch it, but not alone. Which is interesting because like I always watch this movie alone.
Yeah, I did.
And it is really good on your own. We're going to get into our ratings, so I'm not
I've watched it twice in the last week, and both times was alone.
Yeah, right. Did you have any quotes that you wanted to bring up?
I think I may have said them just
Earlier.
already talking about.
I did too. I said one of mine, but I have one other one. The last one that I really like is when Tommy and Austin are doing the autopsy and they are looking at Jane's heart and her lungs, right? And they're noticing that like her lungs are blackened, and Tommy's like, based off of her lung damage, I would suspect her body to be covered in 3rd-degree burns. And they pull her heart out, and it's got like scars all over it, as if she had been stabbed like multiple times. And Austin's like, well, could those be cancerous? Could those be wounds from something else or whatever? And Tommy says, it's just confusing. Like, it's like finding a bullet in the brain, but there's no gunshot wound.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the confusion that I'm having right now, is like, these aren't lining up. If like, yes, it would make sense for her to have like been stabbed or whatever, but like, there's no evidence to prove it on the outside. Like, so that's not feasibly possible. That's not physically possible.
Yeah.
So I really liked that quote. I thought that was cool.
I also love that leaves a little bit of room for interpretation of like, did all of these things happen when she was being tried and tortured for being a witch? Or have these things happened as people have tried to get rid of her because she's been causing these things. Because I think about like, then they try to set her on fire and it's like her skin doesn't burn.
Yeah.
So we know that it was a hallucination, but it's also like, has somebody else tried to burn her?
That's a really good
that's why
point.
her lungs are charred, but like she doesn't look like it.
That's a really good point. I couldn't confirm nor deny. I'm kind of curious. I kind of assumed that all of the damage that her internal like organs have suffered is like a product of the torture that she experienced when she was first created as a witch. And then I'm assuming what happened because her body, like they said, if she suffered all of the internal injuries, what would her body look like? And Austin was like, she would be completely mangled. You wouldn't be able to, like, you wouldn't recognize her, right? So I'm thinking that, like, she suffered all of this damage, and then whatever black magic that happened in this, like, transformation gave her, like, this new body. Like, the body that's over the top of it. Like, I'm curious, like, how the sigils got on the inside of her skin. Mm-hmm. Because at first you're almost led to believe that that was man-made, that like they somehow wrapped her in all of this skin that had the sigils on it to prevent her from getting out. But I think it was the opposite. I think that that's what happened when that black magic created her.
Yeah.
Was like it created her with like the seals on the inside because it like was indicative of the seal that she had swallowed.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And to make it look like she was pristine on the outside, to protect her, essentially.
Yeah. I love that there is a definitive answer at the end of this movie, and I like that. But I like that there's still so much that you can take for your own interpretation.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there are a lot of questions. Like, we don't get to see what her torture was. We don't know what the ritual was. We just have little threads and little pieces of information that give you she was paralyzed, she was tortured. They put her own tooth in a sigil inscribed piece of cloth and then forced her to ingest it. So it's like you have to almost look up these archaic rituals for how to get rid of witches, right?
Yeah.
What were these rituals that were done to try and get her to stop witchcraft, and then instead of getting rid of her, they just created her instead. Kind of curious, like, did she decimate that whole population and then just slowly move on? Because, at the end of the movie, you realize that she's caused all of this damage while being essentially comatose.
Yeah.
Because she sustained all these injuries, she can't go anywhere. But then after Tommy gives her renewed life, she still pretends to be dead until she's in the van going to the next county, and then you see her little toe move. And so you'll almost have to wonder, like, okay, is she gonna get up and cause havoc somewhere else? Is she gonna just wait till she gets to the next morgue? Is there something else that's still wrong, that she has to collect more people before she can get up, right?
Yeah.
Now she has more capability, but not as much to actually get around.
It leaves so much room for either a prequel or a sequel.
Yeah.
Like we can learn so much more. But then at the same time, whenever we have these sort of scenarios where a movie is so well done and does give us so much that we can run with, whenever they make the prequel or the sequel, it's never as good as we hope it is.
Because they didn't plan for it when they made the original movie.
Yeah.
They wanted it to be like a nice little present with a bow on it, and it's finished, right? We're not going to explore it after that point.
And I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to do your rating?
Yeah. So I had a hard time picking a weapon because I have one that is very tangible and one that is also very tangible, but in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah. So one
Eeny,
option
meeny,
is
miny.
a shoddy banister. And another option is mass hysteria.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I feel like I've been going a little bit more zoomed out lately, so I'm just gonna go with the shoddy banister.
Yeah, I did tangible, so
Yeah,
if that helps your decision at all.
that does. We both have done a little bit more zoomed out things lately, so it's nice to be able to just have a weapon.
Yeah.
For quality, I might want to edit this. I put 4 out of 5.
For quality.
Yeah, for quality.
Yeah.
And I think it is because there were a few things that I was like, oh, this is a little bit of a continuity issue or that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
then now thinking about it, any continuity issue is erased. Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
actually
undone.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I might put it up to like a 4.5 or even a 5 out of 5. It was very well done. Very, very well done. I'll say a 4.5 because I feel like there's going to be a movie one day that I'm like, that's a 5.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 4 out of 5 shoddy banisters. For scariness, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. And I feel fairly confident with that. There were quite a few good jump scares that if you weren't totally desensitized to jump scares, it probably would have gotten you.
Sure.
Especially if you watched it on a bigger screen.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it both times on my laptop. So
Had a little bit more control there.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Dolby surround sound.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. If I were to go home and rewatch this though on like the TV in our room and turn it up a bit, I'd probably have it at a 4.
It'd get that extra half point for sure.
Yeah. So that one's 3.5 shoddy banisters, which is about why the banister is a weapon, because it was a half a banister.
It was shoddy.
It sure was. And then for rewatchability, I gave it a 5 out of 5 because I normally watch the movies once when we're going to cover them. I watched this one twice already, and I'm going to watch it again. I don't know when, probably soon, but I'm going to watch it again. It's a good length, keeps you in it the whole time. And truly, like, you can miss something, turn around and like look back, and you're not really going to lose the plot. Like,
No.
yeah.
I agree with that.
It's still good.
This is going to be pretty funny.
So, yeah, I think overall that kind of averages out to like a 4 out of 5 shoddy banisters.
Shoddy banisters out of 5. All right. Well, my murder weapon is Stanley the Rat Devourer.
Oh, I did write in here, Rip Stanley.
Rip
well,
Stanley.
it says, no, not Stanley. Rip.
Rip Stanley. He was good. He was good cat.
He was a good cat.
I like that nice little wet ploppy sound that rat made when he just like left it for Austin and just was like, deuces, bitch.
I had a cat named Stanley. I love
I
that
know.
there's a personal connection.
I know. Right? So for quality, I put 4 out of 5 Stanley the Rat Devourers. It's thrilling. There's great attention to detail. I only gave it a little dip because the CG is a little overdone for the zomboids. But that's really it. Like, other than that, like, it's pretty crisp and clean from start to finish. And I really like how claustrophobic it feels.
Yeah.
Because of like its environment, its setting, how few people there are really, like that you feel like you can call upon for help. So for scariness, I also gave it a 3.5 out of 5 Stanleys.
What the fuck is happening in this bitch?
That's what I told you were gonna laugh. I obviously, like, this isn't a scary movie to me. It's honest. I found it to be like a great date night movie, or definitely watch it alone if you want more of like a creepiness factor, like in the dark. Like, I bet you it would be pretty creepy. But overall, it's like, it's not a scary movie. It's just kind of like it's honestly like a great mystery movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those great, like, you watch it and it's like a good whodunit. Like, it'll make you go, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It really is just like a vibe movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the whole way through. And it's good. It's good. And it's not, I don't think it's too scary
No.
at all. Like, I would show this to a teenager.
Yeah.
Personally. No.
Well, there is some. Yeah, there's the
Not with
boobies.
just like Jane being naked all the time. Maybe I wouldn't. I mean, I guess it would kind of depend on the teen, right? Like, in some aspects, you could get away with being like, it's human anatomy, man. Like, get over it. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
And there is a part of me that really doesn't like how stigmatized we make human anatomy, especially in America.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess really, we both have nipples.
Yeah.
They look exactly the same.
Yeah.
What really is the difference? It's just that you sexualize one over the other.
Yeah.
Right? That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
I do like that the character, the next character down that you see the most skin from is Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that it's like the contrast between like this older gentleman and then this like pristine young girl.
Yes.
And it's like the porcelain skin and like Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool little contrast.
Absolutely. And then finally, for my rewatchability, I gave this a 5 out of 5 because I love this film.
What is happening in here on this day?
I love this film. Like, I love it. I love introducing people to it who have never seen it before. I watch it pretty often. I mean, even if I know everything that happens in it, I know I'm like in for a good time when I put it on.
Yeah.
Even if I'm watching it in the background and I'm doing something else.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be a background movie for me over the next couple weeks.
Right?
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, thank you for suggesting this one.
Absolutely. I think it was on our list. I think when we were just like, what should we do? I was like, we got to do this one. You haven't seen it yet. Like, we've got to do it.
Back in the early days when we were writing our lists.
Yeah. Now at least we have a couple in the bank, like that we know we're doing. But I think the last thing we've got before we wrap up for the night is just, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What you up to in the last like couple of weeks? Because we've had a holiday, right?
Yeah, because we had holiday. Well, I mean, the holidays, this is going to come out in March, so that'll be a little weird. But,
Sure.
The holidays were good. Christmas was very low key. Just spent it with Nick and Mom making tamales.
Tamales.
And then New Year's was fun. Went out for some drinks, came home, watched Wicked.
Love it.
Yeah. Aside from that, been playing some video games. Started the campaign with Chase, and it's been going really well.
Oh, good.
Nice to be able to hang out with him every Saturday for a little bit.
I love that. Wait. What are you guys playing?
So we're like barely through the first act of Baldur's Gate 3. And it's literally because when he and I get going on something, when we were doing real life D&D campaigns also, it worked like this.
Right.
Where we have so many rounds that are like 5 feet campaign or like 5 feet ones where we spend so much time deciding on something or like fucking with something or like figuring out what's more canon for our characters and that sort of thing that we barely get through a side quest. Barely. So this next week, I think we have things 2 days from now. I think we have things a little bit more dialed in with what we're doing.
Okay.
A really comical piece of this is that he was like, oh, I'm going to play a bard and it's going to be a woman. And I was like, sick. And I was like, I'm going to play a barbarian and it's going to be a man. And somehow, if you know me and Chase and how oddly similar we are to begin with, this just kind of adds another layer to that. Somehow, we both made gnomes that are almost identical to one another, just different genders. And like same color hair, like everything the same.
Wow.
Just different genders.
That's some nuts.
Yeah, so
That's
it looks
crazy.
like siblings that are running around doing this
Adorable.
journey. Yeah.
Gnomes.
Hell
yeah.
Yeah.
That means you can get in the tiny spaces.
Yeah.
Dude, if you don't have somebody to get into those tiny spaces.
I, to this day, have no idea what's in those tiny spaces because I've never played a small character.
Yeah.
And I've never had the ability to like shift down.
Well, and it's fucking bullshit that you can't as a druid. I don't really understand where we like went wrong there. But like a mouse or a cat can't get into one of those spaces. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, I can.
That's supposed to be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from that, I finished a cozy game called Firewatch that was really fun. It was really fun. I liked it. And for being just like a cozy, almost kind of wander around sort of game, it had a good story to it. It was really fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
You should play What Remains of Edith Finch.
I think I have that on my wish list.
Dude, it is like a walking simulator.
Yeah.
You could probably finish it in like 2 hours.
Okay.
But like you and Nick should play it. Like Mom could play it. You just walk forward and engage with the story. But
okay.
It's really cool. You're just like a woman who's inherited her family's property that she left. It's like several years back, like over a decade ago. And she's coming back to find out like what happened to all of them. And it tells the story in a very like artistic way where you're finding out like how all of these people passed away, but it's in a very like narrative driven, beautiful way. And it's super cool and it's very quick.
Ooh, I'll check that out.
Very quick.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I know that I love the art for it because I've been seeing it on Steam.
Yeah, the music is also really pretty too. Like play it when you have the ability to like listen to the soundtrack too.
Okay.
It's actually supposed to take place, I think, either in like Northern Oregon, like Southern Washington. So like when you're walking through like the outside environment, you're just looking at like foxglove and like it's like raining in the evergreen trees, and you see this big gargantuan like Frankenstein house in the distance, and it's total vibes.
The only other two things that I have to share are both school related, so I'm going to make it super quick.
Yeah.
I am proud of myself because I finished my first term back after a decade with a 4.0. So
with a 4.0?
With a 4.0.
Shit.
Yeah. First time I've ever had a 4.0, so that's sick. We'll see if I'm able to keep going with it. And
no pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure, because if we're honest, who gives a shit?
Right. Doesn't matter.
As long as you're happy.
Exactly.
Like if it makes you proud and like you did your best.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yep.
And then the other part is that I'm not going to be starting the next term on Monday like I should have.
Oh.
And it's strictly because I'm pushing it out to wait to hear back from OSU because they said that I'll have an answer on Monday on whether or not I'm accepted for my transfer. And if I am, I'd have to wait until March 31st to start spring term. If I don't get accepted, I'm just going to be happy that I have a little bit of extra time.
Yeah.
And cram in a bunch of outdoor stuff and a bunch of reading and then hit the books again in March.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Are you guys planning on going on a trip?
We're going to go to Victoria.
Nice.
In a couple weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, for inauguration. We'll be out of the country.
You need that. You fucking need that, man.
Yeah.
Take me with you.
It's going to be such a nice thing to be watching the U.S. from afar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your bullshit over there, please. Yeah, Cassie has said really nice things about Victoria. Just about the food, about the vibes.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet. We've done Vancouver, but it'll be nice to experience like San Juan vibes, but Canada.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have fun.
Well, thank you. What have you guys been up to? Or what have you been up to and what are you guys going to be doing?
Right? Well, I mean, we've also been doing holiday stuff. So I stopped working. I worked like 24 days straight in December. So I took a week and a half off. So I'm like almost through that vacation right now. But yeah, we went and we spent 4 days down with my husband's family, Harrison, down in Drain, where we went to school. Good old Drain.
Good old Drain.
So yeah, that was really fun. It was nice because we actually got to stay on the property with Echo and our nephew dog, Luke. And then we got back, and the last week, honestly, we've just been doing like chores and stuff. Mm-hmm. And other than that, we've honestly been playing a lot of that Valheim game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I downloaded that.
Yeah. We got into a new biome after we defeated like the last boss in the Plains biome. And so we've been doing this like Mistlands area that's super hard to traverse because you have to have this little like Navi ferry follow you around that clears the mist for you. So that's been stressful and hard. I'm sure Owen, our roommate, laughs at us whenever he can just hear us go, "Oh shit, oh fuck, oh no." It's all me just running.
I remember I launched in for maybe 15 minutes when I had first downloaded it.
Right.
And it was within the first 5, something was already attacking me. And I was like, I don't even know. I know nothing about this yet.
Yeah.
I've just read signs.
Yeah. We're going to have to play sometime. You should check out our base at some point.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
working
I've heard that you can set up like a server for it, kind of like with Minecraft.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got a server going. You can come join ours.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think that's everything we've got going on tonight.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
have a great night.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
It's always spooky.